This is a photo podcast presented by me, Richard Crothers, about the making of the video No Show by Window Seats.
No Show.
Kojak.
After the performance shoot was out of the way, we're getting closer to the on-location shoot.
Brian Stewart.
Obviously, the casting then we're speaking about like a key component of the concept.
Which is?
We need somebody to have the phone, we need somebody to steal it, and as simple as that.
Kojactor.
And it was only like the night before it became apparent that I'd have to stand in as lead actor as well because someone dropped out.
Jonathan Beer thinks.
The only being, the song's called No Show, about people kind of ditching on you, people not being around or saying they'll be somewhere and not being there.
Kojak was the cameo, really. He was behind the scenes to in front of the scenes and steals the phone to start with.
It was another late night in Didsy's garage, you know, working. Just got a wee bit of sleep, then I was up the next morning, getting ready, getting a suit on and black shoes, getting prepared to be an iPhone thief.
With a thief cast, the guys needed a victim.
Jude had in mind a girl for the person who gets the phone stolen.
Helen Murphy, victim.
My involvement in the video was, as everything is in Belfast, a text from a friend.
And when he said Helen, I was like, holy shit, like, I used to know a Helen. I was like, it'd be crazy if it was her.
Met everybody thinking, God, I'm going to know nobody. It's going to be so awkward. Walked in, knew Stu, knew Didsy. Just was like, oh, thought I would know nobody.
Helen is welcomed into the No Show family with ease.
John made a joke about my face. It was fine. We were all family right away.
So the night before we were shooting, like it was Jude and Didsy and me making sandwiches for everybody. Like, so then it was late to bed, early start then for the shoot day.
Day one of the narrative shoot, freezing cold morning as well. We were all standing there, like all huddling around a couple of cups of coffee.
Ricky McQuillan, photo taker.
I knew it was going to be another early start, but that was fine. I'm sort of getting used to this now, these early starts of the window seats.
So got about 5 hours sleep, was picked up, thinking, are we going to wake up? How are we going to wake up? Are we waking up yet? Nah.
And it was brilliant because there was also this transition from the previous shoot had been in private. You know, we're isolated, we're in a warehouse, nobody can see what we're doing. You know, nobody feels like an idiot. You just get on with it. You do whatever the hell you want, really, you know. But now we're actually in public, and there's a bit of an uncontrollable element to that. So obviously you're interacting, whether you like it or not, with the public. So there's obviously busy, you know, morning traffic of people going to work, people leaving their apartments and going to work, and there's us trying to do what we're doing, filming this.
Literally just as the sun was rising, and everyone was just, you know, having their breakfast and stuff, but we were out there in the street waiting just by these traffic lights.
People had just walked out of their apartment doors and were having to jump out of the way of this running guy who's like coming down the street with his dolly mounted on a mountain board behind him.
This first setup is Stu's most important setup of the day.
High shots that are looking over Helen, down on the iPhone and onto the floor.
The very first setup was just like a static voyeur shot, like watching Helen.
I think they were actually gratuitous boob shots that Stuart set up to try and get Helen's rack on camera as much as possible.
The first action sequence of many.
The bit where Kojak steals the phone from Helen.
I just run in, grab the phone and push her out of the way and just sprint down the street.
Yeah, it was really good fun. I loved that scene. I loved obviously this expensive camera as well being mounted very provisionally on this mountain board. It was and it was being pushed obviously very fast to catch all this action of Kojak lashing down the street.
Didsy was pushing it, like, and we were going full, you know, as fast as we could go, really. And so this was me riding on it, so I was just focused on a monitor, like the small monitor I had on my lap, and I was just looking at that. And once you get into that mind frame, it's just like I'm just focusing on what I see on my monitor and I don't react to anything else.
I think it was Tony was like crouched down behind his electric box. Obviously he was going to be the eyes to make sure that this expensive piece of equipment wasn't going to collide very expensively with this electric box, because it was very close at times.
Tony was almost in every great take. Like, I just remember one specifically where everything was came into frame perfectly. Like, we were tracking him behind Kojak, is coated, like flicked up and literally like really close to the lens, and he had pulled away like perfectly. Helen came into frame just right on time, and it was just like, oh, this is the money shot. And then obviously Tony jumps out in front of the rig, like, and I just remember thinking, oh, piss.
He didn't realise his skulking wasn't just skulking quite enough.
Every single shot, Tony's little face is popping up. It's like a Where's Wally book. Like, every shot you can pick out Tony.
Health and safety is not top of Brian Stewart's priorities as a director.
I kept on saying to Kojak, like, you really need to like don't go easy on her, like she can take it, she's tough.
The first take, no, Kojak, really go at her. It's fine. Like, she can take it. It's grand. Second take, runs at me, nearly shoves me into oncoming traffic.
After I kind of amped him up or whatever, he basically almost rugby tackled Helen to the ground, like, and he had to grab her, like, and stop her from hitting the floor. And I was like, okay, well, maybe not that hard.
He was properly shoving her. He was barging into her and stealing her phone. And it's quite funny because a lot of people were driving past and ignoring the fact that any of this was happening. Police car drove past, ignored the fact that this was happening.
Seemed to be patrolling the area. I don't know whether it was because of us or whatever.
I think they were getting a bit sus because I saw a couple of police cars that day that were just kind of spinning around.
Then there's one guy who stopped his car and was beeping away, thinking it had actually happened.
He was just shouting all this abuse at me. I think he thought I'd really just robbed someone.
Tantamount to his acting ability.
And he had this look of shock and rage in his face, and then he sort of twigged on.
He was waving like apologetically. He was like, geez, I hope it didn't wreck your shot or whatever.
It's good. There is love in the world.
Jonathan Beer takes us to a new location.
So we're in Victoria Square and we were doing a shot through the lift.
I wanted the guys to run into frame just at the moment where the elevator starts moving up, and we track up with him. Me, John, we just jumped in the elevator. John cued the actors.
So we did this take, got it in one shot, absolutely perfect.
Why there are no photos of this?
Nobody was sure of whether we'd be allowed to shoot in Victoria Square. Obviously a very public place, lots of security, well, an element of security.
I don't know, some 14-year-old security guard comes over to us and says that we're unable to film unless we go and get permission from the management.
Said, like, you can't shoot in here. So we were like, sucking our balls, we just did. So the take that you see in the video is the one and only take.
10 minutes earlier, we wouldn't have got it. 10 minutes later, we wouldn't have got it.